Hey there, toy collector friends and Transformers fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, that's the time travelling toy collector, and this time we're looking at Transformers Studio Series 86, entry number 22, and it's Brawn as he appeared in the Transformers the animated motion picture back in 1986. A wonderful time for all of us. Now again, Brawn is one of those characters who was in the original lineup of G1 figures that I didn't collect. I didn't really collect the minicons, the minibots, whatever they were called back in the day. I call them minibots, but I'm now associating most things with minicons. So it was really lovely to see several of those minibots getting a Generations-esque makeover during things like Siege and Kingdom, and I've picked up a couple, and so I was really pleased to see Brawn. I hope we don't see him getting, you know, his destiny from the movie reenacted in the figure the way we did with poor old Prowl and Ironhide, but I suspect that might be on the cards actually. But yeah, I think he's a wonderful little figure, and I say that he's a wonderful little figure. He's a deluxe class figure, but I say he's a wonderful little figure because what they've done with all of these original figures and original characters from the G1 universe has been, in my opinion, really fantastic. And they've given us, those of us who were around in the 80s when these were released, the figures that we should have had, or the figures that we thought we had and imagined we had. And that for me is the priceless commodity within this whole collection, if you like, of Studio Series 86. And I think nothing really will bring that home more than the fact that when I picked up this Brawn, I also picked up the Cybertronian version of Brawn, that was released again, Studio Series, I think, released in as part of the Bumblebee movie figure range, and I'll look at that in another video. I want to keep them separate for now. But whilst I saw the two, and I thought, oh, this is really clever how they've done this. And then, as luck would have it, whilst I was having a shufty around at a convention, I also came across G1 Brawn. And I thought, well, I've just got the Studio Series version, so why don't I pick up G1 Brawn? Because I very rarely get into a situation where I can do, I do comparisons between new and old. And I never really had, I never had any of the original minibots except Bumblebee, because I won it for getting a letter printed in the Transformers comic. And I think Beachcomber. I think Beachcomber was the only other one that I had. So here he is. Here is G1 Brawn. And you can see just how much our imagination was required to engage with these figures. You know, because that's it. And to say he's articulated is to be extremely kind. His articulation is basically all to serve his transformation, but bless them, they did incorporate some arms, but there's no meaningful articulation and posability, and goodness knows they can barely stand up on their own without something, you know, giving. What is nice, he has separate legs, but that wasn't always the case with Transformers. But we're not here to talk about G1 Brawn, we're here to talk about Studio Series 86. I just wanted to do that because it really does show the distance travelled when we're then looking at a figure like Brawn coming back into. He's got a bit of a backpack, but you know, you've just seen what we had in the 20th century. This 21st century version, I can live with that backpack because there's so much going on. He has a fantastic G1 accurate head sculpt. Everything is articulated. We've got. There is waist articulation, but it's very minimal, again, because of this backpack. But it's there, so there is some posability. He's got his little blaster, that's the only accessory he comes with. But there's even toe articulation on the tilt at the foot. It is replete with articulation, and again, beautiful detailing. I'll bring it a bit closer so you can see the level of surface detailing that we have on Brawn. Yes, there is a bit of hollow space around the arms there, but to be fair, that's where those fists are going to go, I imagine. But the legs are filled in. You know, the legs are looking pretty good. We're excusing the backpack because of the nature and the size of the beast, but you know, the legs are well filled in. We've got the wheels together there. All in all, I think this is a beautiful figure. And I think I know it's Studio Series and the others are kind of War for Cybertron, and of course Legacy and Velocitron, and there's stuff coming out from all over the place. So they're gradually amassing from various different toy universes within the Hasbro multiversal release process of Legacy and the trilogy before it. But I really love building up that collection, even though it's sort of an unintended side collection of those heavily under-articulated minibots that populated the Autobot army at that lower price point that sort of made it more accessible for pocket money, which was beautiful. It was a lovely aspect of the collection that children could use their pocket money, because once you get past that sort of minibot range, they started to become a bit more expensive and a bit more complex. And as we know, the more complex, the more engineering, the more the cost. Very quick look at the packaging, because I've taken him out of the packaging, partially because I'm disgusted that I've actually got some damage to my box, you know, and I do like my boxes. I'm very upset. But there's a fantastic piece of artwork of Brawn, looking brawny. Studio Series 86, there he is again, nice close-up. Product shots on the reverse that we are accustomed to. And it's the ambush of the Decepticon shuttle. That's for the diorama that we get included. But yeah, it's again, we'll take a look at vehicle mode in a second. 23 steps. It's significantly more than it was to transform G1 Brawn, that I'll tell you. But yeah, lovely little packaging, very nice. Again, the quality of the packaging overall, apart from my horrendous tear, is lovely. And we do get, and this is something I really like in the Studio Series range, as I've mentioned before, we do get this wonderful diorama. So I'm about to take Brawn and transform him off camera into his vehicle mode. Whilst I'm doing that, why don't you take the opportunity to like this video, and if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe. I'm trying to get to my next milestone, and it would be fantastic if you could contribute to that. There's no Patreon, there's no hidden costs or things to purchase. It's just me appreciating toys from then, from now, and from what's to come. So yeah, if that kind of thing appeals to you, do subscribe to the channel, smash the like button for this video, and I'll be back in seconds with a fully transformed up Brawn. And without further ado, here we are back with Brawn all transformed up into his vehicle mode, and I've got to say, he is, it doesn't really suit the backdrop, but we'll stick with it for now. It's a fantastic transformation. As many of you will know if you're a follower of the channel, I don't do the transformations on video purely because I don't trust myself. I'm not quick at it. I used to be amazingly quick at it back in the day, but with the new Transformers, I like to take my time. I've experienced firsthand when they can break, especially when they're new out of the box and are quite stiff. I don't like to put slightly unnecessary pressure on myself, because usually I do these where the transformations is the first time I've transformed them, and this is certainly the case with Brawn. So, you know, I don't want to fill the airwaves with my profanity as I'm trying to get it to do what it needs to do. But yeah, this was a great piece of engineering in terms of his transformation design. I really liked it. It was fun, it was enjoyable, it was inventive. There was a few elements that I didn't expect tucked away in terms of arm panels and what have you. There's almost a hidden nod, or not so hidden, to Brawn's original G1 form with the legs, which have to extend out into a very long skinny leg. But you know what? There's lots of people who do online tutorials, and they do them really, really well. So if you want to look for that, by all means go along and check them out. But here I'm really just looking at and appreciating the figures and the nostalgia they bring, and the beauty and the quality of them. And I think, you know, the detailing here is really great. You kind of have got visible head syndrome under there, but not really, because he's tucked away, so you don't really know what it is. And the rest of it's kind of if you didn't know, you wouldn't necessarily assume, other than the Autobot logo. And he has another beautiful Autobot logo there on his on the hood. Spare tire there. The spare tire can be somewhere to connect the weapon, should you wish to connect it. He rolls quite nicely. You can't really see there, but trust me, he does roll quite nicely. The wheels are pegged in, but they, you know, they work. They work. And again, in an unusual departure for me and my channel, but it's so sweet to do, I think. Here's a comparison of G1 Brawn with Studio Series Brawn. Get all my sausage fingers and thumbs out of the way. And I think you can agree that what they've achieved in terms of the likeness and the colour scheme, etc., is really, really good. We don't have the Autobot logo on the front, but we do have the rub sign on the side. Even down to the back, if you look at this, you can see that the back is done brilliantly, and there is, you know, it's a bit of a different story underneath, but I think they've done it really, really well, and it does feel to me like a really nice tribute to that G1 character. And as I said before, I think that's something that they've really managed to capture in those mini bots that have been released either through War for Cybertron, the War for Cybertron trilogy, or across the Legacy range. There's not been a huge amount of them, but there's been a few, and I have picked a few of them up. I haven't looked at all of them on the channel. I think I've done a couple. I've done Cosmos. Cosmos is the one that springs to mind because it was relatively recently in the scheme of things. But I have picked up a few others like Warpath and Beachcomber, and Pipes and Huffer. I think I did Huffer as well. And they're just lovely. And I think what I will do is, as more, and we've got Gears. I think Gears is a Studio Series 86, I think, but it could be a Legacy United figure coming shortly. And again, can't wait to add that to the collection, because again, another wonderful figure that has been treated to the imagination upgrade of the 21st century that I think those of us who were G1 living and breathing back in the 80s really appreciate, because it really, it again, the vehicle mode, it's bigger, it's more playable with, it's more posable and rugged, but it's not that dissimilar from the G1. However, the robot mode is everything that we were promised in some of those illustrations that our imagination had to deliver, because the robot mode itself, perhaps, no offence, Brawn and others, but didn't quite live up to the packaging artwork. But then the packaging artwork was always so fantastic for Transformers anyway. That's a given. So this has been Brawn. Does Brawn deserve a spot in your collection? I would imagine he probably does, if you're a fan of Transformers, particularly of the animated movie and particularly of G1. He's a really, in my opinion, great reimagining without being too far removed from the original character. And I will, in the not too distant future, have a look at that other Studio Series Brawn that belongs to the Bumblebee movie. And then we've got 3 iterations. We've got the latest sort of Bumblebee version, we've got the G1 version, and we've got the Studio Series animated accurate version. Thanks for sticking around for the last 20 or so minutes, if that. I appreciate your time very, very much. I have, as I told you, been the time-travelling toy collector. You've been a wonderful audience, and this has been Studio Series 8622 Brawn, as he appeared in the Transformers the movie back in 1986 and produced by Hasbro and Takara Tomy. And I am thrilled to have been able to show him to you. I hope to see you in a future video or a past video. And you know, have a look around the channel. There might be something else that tickles your fancy if you're into Transformers or Doctor Who or Battlestar Galactica or G.I. Joe or Star Wars or Space 1999 or Star Trek. Goodness knows. Have a look around. There'll be something for everyone, I hope. And if there isn't, let me know. Send me a message. You can also check out my Instagram page, Time Travelling Toy Collector, where often I post some stuff in advance of the videos coming out, so you can also have a look at what may be coming down the line. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your day. Thank you so much. I hope you stick around for more videos. In the meantime, I'm just grateful that you spent this time with me today. Take care, and I hope very much to see you in a future video, as I mentioned. And it just remains for me to say that a thing of beauty really is a toy forever. Take care. Bye-bye for now.